Hello everyone, in this video we're going to learn how to convert units with conversion factors. Alright, so here are some conversion factors you need to know. Now let's move on to example number 1. Perform the following calculation, give the answer with an appropriate units of measure. So suppose we're going to convert from the large units to the small units. So this one is inches less than feet. We need to convert it to inches, right? So we have 52.14 inches. We can rewrite this one as 52 plus 1 over 4. 2 1/3 feet can be written as 2 plus 1 over 3 altogether. Now, you know that 1 foot is going to be 12 inches, right? So this guy you multiply by 12 inches, right? Now, this guy turns out to be 2 times 12 is going to be 24. 12 times 1/3 is going to be 4, right? Now simplify. 52 plus 24 is going to be 76 plus 4 is going to be 80, right? 1 over 4 inches. We're going to convert pounds to ounces. So this guy turns out to be 8 plus 1 over 4 pounds. But we know that 1 pound is going to be 16 ounces, right? So we're going to multiply by 16 plus 12, right? 8 times 16 is going to be 128 plus 16 divided by 4 is going to be 4 plus 12, right? This guy turns out to be 132 plus 12 and it's going to be 144 ounces, right? This guy turns out to be negative 3 minus 1 over 3, right? Plus 1 plus 2 third. Negative 3 plus 1 is going to be negative 2. Negative 1 third plus 2 third is going to be plus 1 third. And it's going to be negative 5 over 3 mouse. Right? Now let's move on to example number 2. Solve the following word problems. Your race car can travel 14 miles in 3.12 seconds. What is the average speed of your race car in miles per hour? Right? So we have 14, which means 0.25, right? So we have 0.25 miles over 3.12 seconds. Now your goal is miles per hour. Now you look at this one, miles on the top. This is miles on the top, so you don't need to touch this one. Now this is seconds. This is hour. So this is second, you need to put second on the top. So then this guy cancel out, right? But you need hour on the bottom, so you need to put hour right here. Now you need to find the relationship between second and hour. I know that 1 hour is going to be 3600 seconds, right? So look, we only have miles and hour left, right? So we're going to print up the calculator. It's going to be 288.61. Now question 2. You ride your bike around the neighborhood block 8 times a day after school. The distance around the neighborhood block is 3,980 feet. How many miles do you ride on your bike during a normal school week? Alright, so a normal school week, which means 5 days, right? So we're gonna start with this one right here. We know that we have 3,980 feet one round, right? Your goal is how many miles per week, right? Now observe that you ride 8 times a day, which means 8 rounds, right? So we don't need round in the answer right here, so we need to find ways to eliminate rounds, right? You need to put round on the top right here, so then this guy cancel out, right? And 8 rounds per day, so we put day right here. 1 day we have 8 rounds, right? On the top we need miles, we don't need feet, right? 1 mile is gonna be 5,280 feet, right? We need to put feet on the bottom right here, and we put miles on the top right here, right? So we have 1 mile is gonna be 5,280 feet, right? So this guy and this guy cancel out, right? So you know that one school week has 5 days, right? So we put day on the top so that this guy cancel out, right? We put week on the bottom so that we have the week right here, right? Now you have 5 days per 1 week, right? You're gonna multiply this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy, and then you divide by this, and this, right? So I'm gonna bring up the calculator. Now we're gonna hit the button right here, put the fraction, press Ctrl, Enter. It's gonna be 30.151, right? Now let's move on to question 3. On a track at an Air Force base in New Mexico, a rocket slash travels 3 miles in 6 seconds. What is the average speed in miles per hour? Alright, so we have 3 miles per 6 seconds. Now our goal is miles per hour, right? So we look at this one, miles right here. We have miles right here, so we don't need to touch this one, right? Now this is seconds, but we need hour, so we need to find a way to eliminate seconds, right? So we put seconds right here, right? So this guy cancel out, right? Now we need hour on the bottom, so we put hour right here, right? Now we need to find the relationship between hour and seconds, right? So we know that 1 hour it could be 3600 seconds, right? So 36 divided by 6, it could be 600 times 3, it could be 1800. Now let's move on to question 4. The elevator in the Washington Monument takes 60 seconds to rise 500 feet. What is the average speed in miles per hour? Alright, so we have 500 feet over 60 seconds. Our goal is miles per hour, right? So on the top we have feet right here, but we need miles, right? So we need to find a way to eliminate feet, right? So we put feet on the bottom right here, and this guy should be miles because we need miles right here, right? So we know that 1 mile is gonna be 5,280 feet, right? This guy cancel out. We have this one left, right? Now on the bottom right here we need hour. We don't need seconds, right? So we need to find a way to eliminate second, right? So we multiply by, we put second on the top right here. And the bottom right here we need hour, right? So we put hour right here. So we know that 1 hour is gonna be 3600 seconds, right? So now we're gonna print up the calculator. Press Ctrl, Enter. It's gonna be 5.682. Now let's move on to question 5. A patient in the hospital is given an intravenous fluid that must deliver 1000 cc of a dextrose sugar solution over 8 hours. The intravenous fluid tubing delivers 15 drops per cc. What is the drop rate in units of drops per minute that must be administered to the patient? Round your answer to the nearest 100. Alright, this guy right here, 1000 cc per 8 hours. Now our goal is drop per minute. Now we look at this one right here, we need drops, we don't need cc anymore, right? So we have the conversion factor right here, drops per cc right here, right? So we need to find a way to eliminate cc, right? So we put cc on the bottom right here, put drop on the top, right? So we have 15 drops per cc, 1 cc, right? So this guy cancel out, right? Now we need minute, we don't need hours, right? So we're gonna put hours on the top and put minute on the bottom, right? So then this guy cancel out, right? So we know that 1 hour is gonna be 60 minutes, right? It's gonna be 31.25. Now let's move on to question 6. A website stated that the average body density is 0.001 kilogram per cubic centimeter. It is the same as 62 pounds per cubic feet. Alright, so we have 0.001 kilogram over 1 cubic centimeter. Now our goal is pounds per cubic feet, right? You given kilogram right here, but you need pounds, right? So you need to convert kilogram to pounds, right? But we don't have the direct conversion factor between kilograms and pounds. We have the conversion factor between kilogram to gram and gram to pounds, right? So we're going to use that one. This one is kilogram, we put kilogram right here. And the top we put gram, right? Next one. This guy cancel out, right? Now we have gram right here, so that this guy cancel out. We put pounds right here, right? Now we know that we have 1 kilogram is gonna be 1,000 grams, right? And we have 1 pound is gonna be 454 grams, right? So we have pounds left, which is good, right? Now we need to convert cubic centimeter to cubic feet right here, but we don't have the direct conversion factor, so we need to borrow inches, right? So we know that 1 inch is gonna be 2.54 centimeter, right? So this one is cubic centimeter, we need to put cubic centimeter right here, and we put cubic inches right here, right? So we have 1 cubic inches is gonna be 2.54 cubic centimeter cube, right? So then this guy cancel out, right? Now we have cubic inches right here, but we need cubic feet, right? So we know that 1 foot is gonna be 12 inches, right? So we put cubic inches right here, so that this guy cancel out, and we put cubic feet right here, right? So we have 1 cubic feet, it could be 12 cube, right? Now we're gonna print up the calculator. Press Ctrl Enter. It's gonna be 62.372, which is the same thing as this guy right here, right? So we need to say yes. Question 7. Your friend is working at a fast food restaurant grabbing hamburgers. Every 3 hours, he grabs 350 hamburgers. He works 8 hours per day. He works 5 days a week. He gets paid every 2 weeks with a salary $440.34 after taxes. Question A. Approximately how many hamburgers will he have to grab to make his first $1 million? So we start with this guy right here. Alright, so 350 hamburgers, I just write 350B, right? Now, our goal is $1 million over SB, right? Now look at the top, we need dollars, right? But we have hours right here, we need to eliminate this one, right? So we're going to use the conversion factor right here. 8 hours per day, right? So we put hours right here. So that this guy cancel out. We need to put day on the top right here, right? So we have 8 hours, 1 day, right? Now we use the second conversion factor right here. right? We don't need day, right? So we put day on the bottom right here. We put week on the top right here, right? So we have 5 days per 1 week, right? This guy cancel out. Now next one, we don't need week, right? We need dollars, right? So we have this guy right here, 2 weeks with this amount, right? So we multiply by, we put week right here, so that this guy cancel out, and we put dollars on the top right here, right? So we have 440.34 over 2 weeks, right? Good with this guy, right? Now look at the bottom right here, we have B. We need B right here. That's pretty good, right? So we're going to simplify this one. It turns out to be 3 times 440.34 over 350 times 8 times 5 times 2 equals 1 million over S, right? So to solve for S, we're going to cross multiply, right? So S equals 1 million times 350 times 8 times 5 times 2 divided by 3 times. Now we're going to print up the calculator. Press Ctrl Enter. It's going to be 21,195,743 burgers. Now question B. How old will he be when he makes his first million? So we know that number of pay period is going to be 1 million divided by 440.34. And it's going to be 2,271. Now you know that each pay period is 2 weeks. You're going to multiply 2,271 by 2. It's going to be 4,542 weeks. Now you know that 1 year has 52 weeks. So you have 4542 divided by 52. It's approximately 87.3 years. So your friend's age is 87.3 years plus present age. Now suppose your friend is 18 years old right now. Then you need to add this guy. It turns out to be 105 years. So your friend makes his first $1 million at 105 years old. And it's good time to stop. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Remember that if you failing to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
We rise like tall buildings as the chemicals they take us higher.